Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a necklace using my January Bargain Bead Box kit. Now, I did say yesterday when I opened up February's that I hadn't done anything with this box yet, though I had designed a few items. So this necklace is one of those things I've designed. I actually designed some earrings to go with it. So if we have some time, we'll make those as well. But anyway, let's get turned down and we'll start on these. Okay, the first thing we're going to have is the main part, which is this beautiful little resin rose. And it's going to be our pendant. It's going to hang down with some chain. Now, I'm not sure if this is big enough of a hole where it's sitting for a oval jump ring to go through to hook it up to here, but if it is, we will, and if not, then we'll get something else. Anyway, it's going to go like this with a little chain, dropping it down. And then that's going to be hooked to two of these. I'm going to need two of those for the earrings as well. So then it will be hooked like so, and here as well. And then I'm going to make another speed string from here to here. And with that, we're going to use one of these. I will put these aside because I'm going to need two of them for the earrings. So we're not going to use these, any more of those into the necklace. We're going to use some of our copper spacers here, and here. Then we'll want a big bead. Here and here. Another copper spacer. And then a small red bead. One here and one over here. Now, in looking at this, I'm thinking I may have more red than I really want. I like red, but I don't want it just to overpower the whole thing with just a bunch of red. So I'm thinking I will either trade the little red for those little purple ones, or the big red for these ones they say are purple, but, well, let's face it, they're not purple. They're more brown. But let's give a few of each of these out, and we'll see which we like better. So I'm going to get my clippers out and cut this loose. And we'll take one of the red beads out and put one of these in this side. And then we'll take the little red bead out of this side and put in one of the purples. And then we'll decide which side looks better to us. Back up there, baby. Now, even though I like this little purple bead, I'm thinking I like this bead in here better. So I think we'll take out the big red ones and we'll use these instead. Now, see, that doesn't work with the purple. I don't like that with that, but it looks good with the little purple. So that's what we're going to do here. I like that. So that's how we're going to go for this part. So let's put the little purple ones back away. And in fact, we'll put the red ones back, the big red ones away as well. And then we're going to get some more of these out, and we're going to start stringing this. Now, like I say, we'll see if we can put a jump ring between here and here. If we can, that's what we'll use. If not, I will probably get a little wire out and do a little wire wrapping. So I've got some jump rings out here. We'll open this one up and see if it will indeed go through the rows. Oh, it goes through quite easily, so we'll just put the we'll have to make a decision on how long of a bit of chain we want, and then we will just string it right through the oval jump ring, so it will just hold right onto it, like, come here, baby. Like this. This also gives the rows quite a bit of movement, which is good. And now we're going to just cut the chain and hook it to our links. So I think I like it just the way that length that is right there. So I'm going to cut this link right here. We'll put the chain up here. We are going to use it some more. Now we need to hook this onto these, and then we will put the this strand through here. Now I've been trying to decide if I want it just on regular beading wire or if I want to use some German style wire, just to bring it across there. And I think that I am going to go with some German style wire, and that's because it's a regular rigid style of wire, it will keep this open like this unless I decide to make any bows in it. So let's get some wire out. So we've got some 20 gauge copper wire, and I am going to cut a length of this off. That should be good. And both sides look good, so I don't need to worry about whether it will needs any trimming or not. So let's get our this piece wrapped right onto here. So in order to do that, we're going to make a wrapped loop. So we'll bend this over here. I'm going to get my smaller bell making pliers, but not my stepped. This one is just a little bit bigger than this smallest of the steps, so we're going to wrap this around, bring her down and around, and check to see if she's in the right position, which it is. As you can see, it's sort of lollipop shaped. Then we're going to take and we're going to put it on to this connector. Now, if you need to, you may, in order to get this to snap on, you might need to pull your your circular piece here away some. See it separated here? And that's fine, because now our next step is just to grab hold of this right here where the wires come together, bringing them tight again, and then just wrap 2 or 3 times right here at the base. And that one is wrapping loosely, so I'm going to get a second pair of pliers out and pull it loose a little bit, because it went over the top of its buddy there. And then we will simply wrap it again. Now we're gonna want this to sit like this, so we're gonna bring this around just a little bit more before we trim it off, so that it sits sort of towards the back of the piece here. Now we want to tuck it in good, like so, and there we go. Now we'll want to straighten it up a little bit and feed our beads on. So first is our little red one here. Come on, little red one. Uh-oh, I did a no-no, and I think we may be sorry for that. Let's see if the other one will fit on. One of the things I'm always stressing is to check to make sure your beads will fit on your wire, and I didn't check these. So not all of them will. This is a coated bead, and there obviously is a little bit of coating inside that one, so we'll use a different one. Now, because we already noticed this one didn't want to fit, we'll try a different one of these little redwoods. There we go. Okay, and there is our little bar done. We now just have to attach it to this other side. And it will look like this when it is done. So let's get this made so we can attach it. We want our loops to be going in the same direction. So we want to bend here. And bring our loop around. Drop and bring around and check to see if it's lollipop shaped. And yes, it is. And it's going not quite the same direction. See, it's a little bit off. So just take hold of it and give it a little bit of a twist. Now we want to put our ring on. And like I said, we'll probably have to pull that up some, which I did while I was putting it on. Now we hold it with our pliers. It's like this is the back. So when we wrap this, we want to make sure we stop on this side over here. So let's just get our wraps done here. And now we'll trim that wire off. Okay, so we just trim that and tuck it in just a little bit here. And there we go. There's our bar connection, which, oh, that's the link I cut. Now we need to hook this to these two links here. And I'm thinking I am going to make a slight bow in this so it's not straight across. So to do that, just put your hand here, and then with your thumbs on either hand, push upwards. See, we have just a slight bow in there now. So now we need to hook our chain on here. And unfortunately, I don't have any small jump rings in copper in that that would work here. I do have some other colors, but I don't really want to use a different color. So though maybe I shall. Let's see. I have antique brass or bronze and some gunmetal. I don't think I care for the gunmetal. So let's see how the antique brass looks. Like I say, not quite the color I would like to use. I would wish I had some small copper, but I do not. So let's see how this looks when we put her on here. So open our jump rings up. Put it through the chain link. Come on, baby. Then through the connection. And close this up. Okay. And I knocked our rose off, but we'll put it back on. You know, that doesn't look too bad. We'll keep with the antique bronze. So we need to thread our rose back on. However, I just noticed that this is the back, so we will turn our rose around. We'll go back this direction. And now we will put our rose on, because we don't want it to be backwards. Now we'll get our little jump ring and hook the chain onto this side. Tighten this baby up. And so here we have our pendant part. I think I'm going to really like this. So how we're going to do this now is we're going to take some more chain, little bit of chain, and put on either side. Then we're going to break said chain with some more bead strands. So I'm thinking probably at least 4 little bead strands, maybe 6. But we can either right now add some chain before this first set of beads, or we can just set this aside and make our bead piece, our bar, the little sections. So let's set the chain aside, and we'll set our piece, we'll move our piece up to the top here. And we will start working on our sections. Now the sections are going to be a lot like this, but we're not going to have this cinnabar piece in the middle because we only had 4 of those. Now if we'd had 5, I would have put 2 more in. But because we only had 4 and I want to use some for the earrings so that they'll match here, I am not going to put the cinnabar piece in. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take, I want to get some of these lighter ones out of here rather than the darker ones because I want them all to more or less match. So need more than that, but right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these, then sort of like we did up there, we're going to use the copper, the red down here. Then we're going to do, since we don't have that, we're going to put another one of the little ones in between. And our bead strand is going to look like this. Now I was debating putting a larger red one in here, but the I don't want the big red ones, so I was thinking of these, but I'm not sure if this red is a lighter red, and I'm not sure if it's as deep, if I would want it to be deeper. Let's cut the strand and put one in there and see what it looks like. Well, it's a little larger than the other, but it's not atrociously large, and I'm not, you know, I'm thinking that that red, even though it's not quite the color I would like it, because I would have liked it a little deeper of a red, I think it might work. So let's get a piece of wire out and let's see what we think as after we string them together here. So I'm just going to get a piece of wire out. This is probably enough wire to hook on 2 sections, but right now we'll just work on one. We do need to wire wrap the ends, so we'll start by wire wrapping one end, and I think I'm just going to jump ring these on to the necklace base, so we will just make all of 4 of the bead strands right now. So we want to do the bend, and now I am going to use my the stepped jumper bell making pliers, so I can use the smaller of the pieces to do my wrap here. As you can see, we have the lollipop shape. Oops, sorry for hitting the camera there. Now we're just going to hold it and wrap 2 or 3 times. I usually wrap 3 because I end up finding that that's how many I at least have on the other side. So we'll just wrap that, cut the extra off, tuck it in, and then we will string our beads on. Nope, that's not quite tucked as much as I would like it. Okay, straighten this. Now you'll find if your wire has a bend in it, if your beads have a small hole, they will not go through. They will snag up right there in that spot. I'm going to see if I can get this bend out of here. If I can't, then I will just cut it off. And I think that's pretty good. I mean, because these little red ones have enough problem going through these holes. So let's see what we got here. There we go. Now copper. These brownie colored ones. Copper. Red. Copper. Brown. Copper. And one of the reds. This one is not going to go on, so we'll try a different one. That one went on pretty easily. So this is what our bead strand is going to look like between our chains. It's gonna come up like so, hook to it, and then we'll do a couple of the splits in our chain. But We could, of course, if we didn't want to do that big of one, we could just take off this and just put another little red one right here and be done with it. But I think I'm going to leave the larger strand. So we need at least 4 of these. So we'll get some more beads out and get working on the other 4. Well, the other 3 after we finish this one up. So again, you want to make sure your end is going the same way. Bend. Put in your bell making pliers. Wrap. And then check. And then wrap this. 1, 2, and there is number 3. Trim this off. And tuck in our wire. So there's 1 done. And we need to make our other 3. So I don't think I left myself enough wire here to do another one. No, I did not. So we'll just put this wire aside and use it for something else later. So let's get enough wire out for our other 3 pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this piece and then add a couple inches. So we'll want at least this much for our turn and then another. So we want about this much wire, which is, let's see, how much is that? It's like 4 inches. So I want 3 more of these. 1, now, unless I decide I need another couple bead strands, we should be done with those. Let's dump out a few more of our little red beads because we definitely are going to need some more of those. And we'll need at least 1 more of these red and, well, more of the copper, little copper spacers as well. There's 3. Copper spacers. And we're going to need more of the lighter colored beads here. So let's get the lighter ones out. Pull all off the strand and decide which ones are the lightest ones. We'll put the darkest ones back away because, like I say, I prefer to use the lighter ones with this. So this is probably, well, there's 3 sets right there. That's good. So we'll put these in here. And we'll start making up the rest of the bars here. So we need a bend, our small bell making plier, put it in, Wrap it around, bring it down, pull her around. If she looks good, just do a wrap. And tuck. And of course we're going to make these identical to this other one. Now, like I say, compare, get them bending the same way. Wrap, bring it down and around, and then wrap our end tail wire. 1, 2, and now I'm getting close to the end of this, and it's getting tight, so I'm going to grab another plier to bring this the rest of the way around. And tuck her in. Check to see if they're facing the same direction. These are not, so give it a little twist till it is. And there we go with number 2. Now for the next 2. When you're cutting your extra wire, make sure you don't clip your loop. I've done that before. It's sort of heartbreaking when that happens. Okay, now that we have the 4 bead strands made, we'll put these other pieces back into their bags. Now, the next thing we need to do is bring this back down here. Make sure we have it facing properly. And then we need to decide how long of chain we want. I'm thinking only a little bit before our first bead strand, maybe an inch. Then we'll put our first bead strand on and put another inch or 2, and then the second bead strand, and go up like that. So let's get, I think about that much. So let's get our clippers out and clip that off. And then we'll count the links and get another one identical to that one cut for the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, it looks like 14. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now I'm going to trim one more off of this than the other one, because I noticed we want actually an uneven number, because otherwise the links will be going in opposite directions, and you want them to go the same direction so that they won't twist as you're going up. So we'll cut one more link off of here so that we have that uneven number of links. Okay, now we'll hook the chain onto this side and then the bead strand onto the other. So since we're doing this with jump rings, it's pretty simple. Just open our jump ring up and hook them onto the focal piece. Just like we did the side with the rose on it. Oh, baby. Okay, side's on. Now put the other side on, and then we'll put the first of the bead strands on. Okay, and now we have the first bit of our chain on, and we need to add our first bead strand. So we'll just open our link up, our jump ring up, hook it to the chain on the end here, and then onto our bead strand. And just tighten her up. Okay, same with the other side. And since these are all the same, it doesn't matter which one you grab. There we go. Whoops, don't pull that way. Come on, under. Behave here. Okay, there is our first little bit. Now the next thing we need to do is cut some more chain, and then we'll put the second bead strand on, and then we'll go and decide what our final length is for the final bit of chain. Now another thing you could do is you could put a little dangle right here off this last bit here if you wanted to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but we will make that decision when we get there. So next thing, like I say, we need to do is put our next two bead strands on, the next two hunks of chain, and then the next bunch of beads. So I think we'll go about 15 maybe this time instead of 13. So we'll cut it right here. And then we'll cut a second one. So right on this one where my thumb is. And there's our two pieces of chain that we're going to put on now. So and I think I'm just going to put the second bead strand on this side right now as well. Now when you're at this stage, you could just hook the chain to either side of your either bead strand. Like you could just put this on right now. And then we'll hook it to the bead strand that's already hooked up. And now we're at the final step. Well, not quite the final step, next to the final step. And that is to decide how much chain how long we want to make this so that we know how much chain to add in. Come on, you stop twisting on me here. Okay. So right now, from here to here is 7.5 inches, which would make this 15. But you got to realize we have this a bit right here too, so that's about another 2.5. So about 17, 18 inches at the present moment. And we need to decide where we want this to hang on us. So I'm thinking we probably only want about 4 more inches at the most for the necklace to finish off. So, come on, baby, hang right. So I'm just going to get a couple more inches for either side. And then we need to find a clasp to put on it. Thinking about right there. And this rest of this chain will be extra, so we'll put it aside. And we will put these up the back. All right, now our final thing is just to put on our clasp. Now the question becomes, which type of clasp do we want? I frequently use magnetic clasps. I like them a lot. They're easier to get on and off if you have problems with your hands. And even though I really love a toggle clasp as well, the only problem I have with a toggle clasp is that if you don't have enough weight behind it, sometimes it will slip. The decision now has to be made whether I want to use a toggle or if I want to use a magnetic clasp, because I do have some in my own stash of clasps that are magnetic. And I may just put a dangle on this side just because it wants to twist over there, and it might help with the dangle to keep it from doing that. So let's find a clasp, and we'll get that on, and then we will see. I think they gave us toggle clasps, if I recall right. They also gave us these. I could put one of those on this side, and I might do that. But I knew there were some in here. Okay, they are little toggle clasps. Wonder if that will do what I want. Yeah, we will use them. I'm going to use the big jump rings to put these on here on the back, since I don't need the little ones for appearance's sake, because we're going to be in the back. So one. And two. So now, if that's where I want to end it at, without putting anything on, then we are done. But, like I said, we may want to add or I may just want to bow this a little bit more to make it more steadily here in this spot. And we could, like I say, add one of these to either side here. And I think I may just do that. I rather like that hanging there. Now the question becomes, do I want to add a bead in here with this? Or do I just want to hang the little piece in here? So, questions. And if I add a bead, what bead do I want to add? Yeah, I think I might just do that. So let's get out some of our wire. We'll wire wrap these onto here. Let's see. There it is. Okay, I didn't need a large piece because we're just going to make a loop on either end with one bead in between. So boy, for such a little piece, it has a pretty heavy duty shank there. 2 loops since this is a pretty small piece here. Tuck that in. Put the bead on. I think I'm going to like that. This one I'm going to use the larger of the 2 sizes because I want the loop a little bit bigger because we're going through that connector. Now when you're doing something like this, you want to act like it's facing the back because once it goes in, it's going to twist around. So, come on, baby. Now, see how that worked? Okay, now we want to wrap this one. Straighten this up because this is going to be going like this. Nope, come on, baby. You're twisted there. And this will come down here, like so. So let's get some more wire and do the other side. I think that's going to be really cute on there. Definitely wasn't part of the original design, but I think I like it. So we'll do the first loop for to put on the little thing here. We'll use the smaller side for that one. And now we've got this done, we need to slide that on. Okay. And the larger of the 2 sides for this one, since we're going through the connector. Okay. Again, we want it to face to the back when we go through, and then we will want this to slide onto this connector, like so. And we will push these back together again with our pliers while we hold it in place and do our wraps. and cut off the excess and tuck it in. And there is our necklace, all finished. This one wants to twist still, but we can fix that. Okay. There's what she's going to look like. And bring this over and put the toggle together. And there she is, all done. So we will turn back up now, and we will see how that looks all finished. And I think I will make the earrings in the next video because this one's probably getting a little long, and the earring one will probably be a little short though. So anyway, this is our necklace. Let's turn up and we'll look at it some more. Okay, now that we've finished the necklace, I hope you enjoyed making that with me. This is it. Oops, I've got it backwards to you. Here we go. So there is our necklace with our rose. Now, as you can see, the rose can slide on its chain quite nicely if it wants to. And being about 18-20 inches, it's going to hang down just a teeny bit, but not a lot. But yeah, there she is. I think I really like how it turned out. I'm pretty pleased with it. I think the addition of these little dangles is really cute. So anyway, there we go, our necklace from our January Bargain Bead Box. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll see you later for the earring tutorial that will match these. Thank you. Bye-bye.